Ever since season 7 of Unexpected aired in 2024, one couple has completely taken over the internet, and not in the way the show probably expected. Bella and Hunter. Because this doesn't feel like a normal teen pregnancy story. It feels like something straight out of a horror movie.
Because Hunter still shows that he's very attracted to me, and always wants to have sex, even when I'm in my moo-moo and trying to go to bed.
Of course he does. He's a 13-year-old boy.
So far, people aren't just criticizing the show anymore. They're actually calling for it to be canceled. And when you hear the details, it's hard to disagree. Because Bella and Hunter weren't 17, they weren't even 16. They were 13 and 15.
I didn't think at 15 years old I'd be pregnant. I didn't think with a 13-year-old either. I'm Bella, I'm 15 years old, and I'm 34 weeks pregnant.
I'm Hunter, I'm 13, I'm Bella's boyfriend, and I'm the father.
A middle school relationship turning into parenthood. Hunter was in 8th grade when he found out he was going to be a dad. Just think about that for a second. At an age where most kids are worrying about homework, friends, and school drama, he was preparing for a child. And by preparing, we mean failing 8th grade and playing Xbox.
Hunter doesn't want to go to the ultrasound.
Are you kidding me? You're bailing on me again?
Never said that.
You're lying.
I never saw. Never mind.
I don't care what he says. This is probably our last ultrasound before we have the baby. If he doesn't come to this ultrasound, I will trash that Xbox with a hammer.
I gotta go to bed.
Hunter, it is 5 o'clock. You better come. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's past his bedtime, and he has 8th grade stuff to do the next morning, so he cannot show up for the ultrasound. Makes sense. Honestly bizarre. And what really pushed this story into controversy wasn't just their age. It was everything around it. Parents being completely okay with them spending nights together, even having their own hotel room. Phelan, Bella's mom, asking the two to take a shower together while her dad is right outside looking after the newly born baby.
Hunter's gonna shower
Yeah.
with you? Okay.
Right. Should do.
And the most disturbing part was probably when Bella admitted that they started having sex only 4 days after her C-section.
How long did you wait after having Wes to start having sex again?
I think we only waited 4 days.
Seriously?
Girl, me and Allie are 11 months apart.
Did it hurt?
Freak yeah.
And they're using condoms, which they despise using in the first place.
And are you using any type of protection?
I am not on birth control to prevent a baby, but we are using condoms, sadly.
Yeah, neither one of them want to use them.
But I still do it every time because I don't want 2 kids right now.
Honestly, even talking about all this feels uncomfortable, like something that shouldn't sit right. And yet somehow every adult involved in the production of the show, every layer it had to pass through before airing on a major network like TLC, decided this was completely okay. That's what makes it even more disturbing, because Unexpected frames this kind of content as awareness, as a look into teens navigating parenthood. But at some point, it stops feeling like awareness and starts feeling like something else entirely. Like an over-glamorization of a situation that is at its core deeply unsettling. We mean, just look at Bella's mom talking about how she raised her to raise a child.
I raised you to raise your son.
We mean, she's just a kid, still in school, raising another child. Let that sink in. And in today's video, we're going to break down everything that's wrong with this relationship, especially the role their parents played in all of it.
My parents definitely know what we do behind closed doors. Stacy does too, but my dad definitely doesn't want to hear about it.
Sign on that semi says just say no.
Just say no to what?
How about we say no to raw dogging it, boo?
Mom, I
No.
do every
the
single
answer
time.
is no.
No, you don't gotta tell me that.
You know?
You gotta tell Hunter that.
So first, let's jump into the family dynamic. As you know, there are 2 families involved, the Vaughns and the Johnsons. Bella Vaughn was just 14 years old when she found out that she was pregnant. She had been dating Hunter on and off since she was 12 years old, while Hunter was just 10.
When we started dating, I was 12.
And when I was 10,
Me and him talked off and on for 3 years.
we recently just got back together.
And then a couple days later, I got pregnant.
No, not a couple.
It was a couple.
About a month.
Hunter, I found out I was pregnant a month later.
Good measure.
Their relationship started because Hunter and Bella used to live right across the street from each other. Over time, Hunter was basically living full-time at Bella's house because his parents were divorced and his mother had his custody. Since she used to go to work, she would leave Hunter at his girlfriend Bella's house to be watched, and she didn't seem to have any problem with Hunter frequently sleeping over. Bella's parents, Phelan and Chris, had no problem with this either. In fact, you'd be shocked to know that they let these kids do pretty much whatever they wanted, and that even includes sleeping in the same room. And it doesn't stop there. Bella also has other sisters. One of them, Emmy, her older sister, who's 19, was also pregnant at the same time and featured on the show. It's honestly absurd how two of their teenage daughters were pregnant at the same time, and they still had the audacity to call it a bonding experience.
This is my sister. She's 19 years old. She's also pregnant. Twins.
It's nice to have someone to experience my pregnancy with.
It's kind of more of a bonding experience.
Absolutely.
I have been sleeping a lot.
You're depressed and you just want to go lay down and...
Apart from Emmy, Bella also had a younger sister called Allie, who is in the same grade as Hunter, and in one live stream, Phelan even talked about how Allie and Hunter did not get along at all and were arch nemesis.
I don't know why people are trying to make it weird. It's like a son, not anything else.
Me and him did used to hate each other with a very big passion.
The way that him and Allie did not get along at first was awful. Like, I honestly, they hated each other.
So
like, literally hated each other.
Thank God someone else understands. Me and Hunter were just... He was just always really immature.
Oh my gosh.
And we never ever got along.
They never got along.
And he also used to always date my friends, so...
And Allie said that Hunter dated all her friends.
Chloe, we don't get to see, Hunter doesn't get to see his son and Bella very much when he's at his dad's house. Guys, I've taken care of Hunter for 2 years, okay?
I mean, we really don't know what's going on with this family. However, another piece of interesting information that we found was that Phelan and Chris were also not in a very stable relationship. Phelan has talked on the show about how she was also very young when she got pregnant, so she could not let Bella lose her baby.
I feel like she justifies it because I did it so young with her dad. I've been with her daddy since I was 14. We got married when I was 18. I had my oldest daughter when I was 19, but I never thought that I would be a grandma to my child that has not even went to high school yet.
But Phelan and Chris actually got divorced in the middle after a tough patch. They initially married in 2004 and then got divorced in 2016 and remarried in 2021. Phelan made an Instagram post talking about it. She said, 9 years ago, we decided to give it one more try. Not for our kids or anyone else, but for us. And it ended up being the best decision we've ever made. All of our past mistakes didn't define our future together. Instead, they helped shape the love, growth, and life we have now. When we got remarried in October 2021, our very first phone call was to my mama, and she said, "It's about time." Then I called my parents, and my dad said, "I told you 20 years ago that you and Chris were soulmates. These past 9 years have truly been the best years of our lives." Overall, the relationship between Bella and her parents is very weird and complicated. On one hand, the parents are shown as extremely supportive. On the other, they're literally exploiting the kids. On the show, Phelan even got mad at Bella because she wanted to break up with Hunter. People thought that her behavior was very unfair and uncalled for.
Can we talk? Please.
About what?
I don't understand why you're mad.
Why do you think I'm mad?
I don't know. I don't understand why you're mad at me.
Bella is also conditioned to think that she owes her mom since she allowed her to keep the pregnancy and helped her through it.
Thanks for putting up with me for the last 40 weeks because I couldn't do it. I've been crazy.
I've been putting up with you for 15 years. What are you talking about?
I don't know how Hunter did it.
And the exploitation of these kids actually goes much deeper. Phelan especially was very much involved in their entire relationship. And while she supported Bella during the pregnancy, she did absolutely nothing to make sure that she doesn't make the same mistake again. In fact, there's a creator on TikTok by the name Michelle Anxo. She uploads complete breakdowns of unexpected stars as well as other celebrities. And some people from Bella's school reached out to this creator and explained how Bella's mom was allegedly trying to give condoms to kids, which is just what you shouldn't be doing when your kid's only 13. It makes absolutely no sense. One person who reached out to Michelle said, "I am best friends from school with someone whose brother dated Bella when they were 10, and Bella's mom was trying to give them condoms, and my friend's mom made them break up. I don't know why they're saying they're preventing things and help them be safe when they're just encouraging them to have sex." Another text from their former schoolmate reads, "This inappropriate behavior has been going on for a minute. When we had Little League homecoming, where you buy the tickets so your kids can win, when Bella and her boyfriend at that time stopped in the middle and kissed on the lips, everyone was shocked. We mean, just look at this picture. They look so awfully young." Apparently, they also had a room of their own at this league. One moment from the show that kind of explains the whole parents' thinking is when Bella's dad says that we should have all known when Bella failed, said that they were doomed. And Bella pointed out that she did great in child development class and her mom agreed. However, the most absurd part is that Phelan believes she tried to prevent the pregnancy by giving the kids condoms, which is bizarre considering they were literally 12 and 14 at the time.
I took a golf class, so I think I'm gonna win.
I think we should have sent you to a sex ed class.
Dad, I took the sex ed class and failed that one, but I passed the child growth and development class.
Oh, good thing. I was trying to prevent teenage pregnancy.
A lot of people online also believe that Bella wanted to get pregnant because she wanted to keep Hunter committed to her since they had a little break in the middle. People also think that Bella wanted to make Hunter jealous by having his baby. She said in one of her old TikToks, "Somewhere out there, my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend is scrolling through my TikTok, tearing me down because I am pregnant, but he got me pregnant and still chose me over you." People also can't help but notice how detached Hunter looks. He seems to not care about anything, and he appears really annoyed at Bella at all times, tired and resigned about everything that's happening in his life.
I was 12 when I found out I was going to be a dad. Now I'm 13. I did not think I would be finishing 8th grade and becoming a dad at the same time. But, yeah.
I didn't think at 15 years old I'd be pregnant. I didn't think with a 13-year-old either.
However, regardless, we're not here to blame the literal children. If anyone's to be blamed for anything, it's the parents who are supposed to keep these kids away from such situations, not aid them in doing this, which is exactly what their parents have done throughout all of this. Now, coming to Hunter, he was very young when he got Bella pregnant, and it's honestly very sad to see how this young boy has detached himself from everybody. He's constantly joking, he doesn't take anything seriously, and it's kind of funny how he interacts with his baby.
Take him. I can't.
For Wes, your daddy can't handle it.
It's actually sad how little responsibility and tact this young boy has been taught. His parents have messed him up in ways that's truly sad to see. He doesn't even want to hold his baby for long enough because that's not supposed to be his job. As for his family, his parents, Casey Johnson and Stacy Riddle, have been divorced. His father has remarried someone else, and it's honestly a little complicated. They got along for a while, but they don't anymore. There is also an ongoing legal battle between Casey and Stacy, as well as Casey and the Vaughn family, which has actually resulted in Phelan being arrested. We'll get into the details of this in a short while. For now, let's just focus on Hunter's relationship with his parents. So he's apparently close to his mother, but his relationship with his father, as shown on the show, is very strained. His father didn't show up for the delivery, and he was kind of sad about it, but pretended like he didn't care.
All fell apart after Bella got pregnant. His dad's like, "I give up now because you're having a kid and I can't help you with your kid."
He said, I ruined my life. I do not feel like I ruined my life.
How did it make you feel hearing your dad tell you that, though?
I won't believe me. I didn't care.
I think he may not show it, but sometimes it really upsets him.
I know.
I think he holds a lot more in than he lets out.
Let out massive dick.
Basically, on the show, it was portrayed that Casey was an absent father who was disappointed in his son and didn't want to help him. However, he's actually been fighting for custody for quite a while now. In fact, Hunter was in his custody after the divorce, but then Phelan got custody, and that's how he ended up living with the Vaughns, sometimes multiple days and nights without much supervision. Hunter's mom, Stacy, was also comfortable with other kids spending time at the Vaughn household, and both families were aware that Hunter and Bella were in a relationship and probably also getting physically involved. Regardless, the kids were given a very high level of freedom and minimal supervision, and it eventually led to serious consequences. On the show, Bella talked about how they were using a but it broke.
The condom broke. Oops.
And it gets worse. Imagine telling your mom at 15 years old that you didn't even wait a whole week after your C-section, then followed it up. That's all he wants.
No, not to get pregnant.
Is it hard to talk about with your mom sitting right here? Because
No, she knows. Like, I'm very open, but, like, all he wants to do is have sex.
What?
Because I'm not going to get pregnant again. I'm already pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
It's honestly crazy that even after the first pregnancy at just 15 years old, the situation around these kids didn't really change in any meaningful way. In fact, the way these adults behaved around the kids was truly unbelievable.
You know, I'm like, golf?
You ain't. You're gonna head it in the woods. I'm gonna head it straight down the pipe.
Well, you ain't getting nothing down the pipe, son. You will be the golf forever.
Both Phelan and Stacy sat there and talked about how they just cannot stop Bella Hunter from having sex. These are adults, the parents, who are simply just incapable. It's just so painful to watch. On the show, they talked non-stop about their sex life, and in the most disgusting way possible. Just have a look at some of these moments from the show that left us completely speechless.
All these people walking past, we're like, you got a baby and you got a pregnancy test. Yeah. You don't want to be a big brother. I don't want to be a 15-year-old too. Actually, I think it'd be 16.
You should have signed on that semi says just say no.
Just say no to what?
How about we say no to raw dogging it, boo?
Mom,
No.
I do every
The
single
answer
time.
is no.
You don't gotta tell me that.
You know?
You gotta tell Hunter that.
Well, he's the one with the loaded gun, so control it.
He can't.
You control it. Make sure it's covered.
I do make sure it's covered.
I feel like it seems to be something that your kids can come talk to you about. Communicate is a big thing in our house.
This is beyond disturbing and horrible, especially seeing her age and the fact that she is a literal child still navigating something far beyond her emotional maturity. But there's honestly a huge difference in the way Bella and Hunter behave. While Hunter is more closed off and acts like an 8th grader, which he is, Bella often acts like she's an adult and knows everything.
And you swear you have not used...
Every single time we've used a condom, I will not go without it.
I just feel like y'all did it like one time without protection. You little aren't telling me the truth.
Hunter, why do you think that Bella's pregnant? Are you not using condoms?
No, we are using protection.
But if you're using protection, why are you so scared?
I'm just scared.
He just ripped.
All right, that was bad.
You can't even stand your own.
And the most disturbing part, according to many viewers, is how her mother reinforces this idea, constantly talking about how Bella has grown and become more mature during this time, almost normalizing it instead of questioning it.
You've matured a lot over the last 9 months, and I feel like I raised a very strong-willed person, and you'll be a good mom.
Okay, next subject.
However, when it comes to Hunter, she has a different ideology. She literally babies him and takes his side a lot of the time over her own daughter. And this has actually led many people to point out how it looks like Phelan has some sort of crush on him.
So Bella's getting pissed at Hunter this episode because he missed out on her pregnancy photos. Now he doesn't want to go to her last ultrasound because he's tired and wants to stay in bed. Now his mom and everyone is saying that is because he's depressed, which it might be. Or it could be that he's 13. And 13-year-olds really sleep a lot because, you know, he's still a growing boy because he is a boy. So Bella threatens to break up with him and she walks off camera, but before the cameras turn off, she does say this: "Mom will not let me leave Hunter." Now again, much of the online chatter and even some people in my DMs are stressing the fact that Bella's mom is a weirdo and gets obsessed with her boyfriends. In this entire episode, she does nothing but defend Hunter. Even though her own daughter Bella is not happy, she is insisting that she does not break up with him. This is her crying because her 15-year-old daughter might break up with her 13-year-old boyfriend. She goes on to say it's not just two people breaking up. You're breaking up two families. This mom is such a weirdo. I can't. And to be honest, if I were Hunter, I would obviously not run far, far away because you're about to have a kid, but maybe run away from this lady.
So yeah, there was a moment on the show when Hunter refused to come to Bella's last ultrasound and she got really upset. There was also a time when she wanted to break up with Hunter, but Phelan would not let her break up with him and also took his side heavily. She said the reason she takes Hunter's side is because he never had anyone supporting him unconditionally.
Talking to Bella because she has not communicated with Hunter. Typically whenever they're fighting like that and I know that they're both being ridiculous, like, I will take a step back because I don't want to say something that I'll regret later and she'll remember forever. So it's just better if I don't talk at all.
Can we talk? Please.
About what?
I don't understand why you're mad.
Why do you think I'm mad?
I don't know. I don't understand why you're mad at me.
I will admit that a lot of times I am Team Hunter because he's never really had someone besides his mom that's actually been there and stayed. So yeah, a lot of times I do pick his side to let him know that I am there. Like I have said that, you know, if y'all break up, you're not just breaking up two people, you're breaking up two families.
Even when I try to talk to him, he doesn't talk to me. He goes straight to you. It's me and him in the relationship. Like, I don't understand why he can't talk to me.
I think it's because he's afraid you're just going to yell at him or you're just going to tell him to leave, like you always do.
Bella also had moments on the show where she broke down emotionally on camera, telling her mom that she always takes Hunter's side.
Always take his side. Not fair. You don't validate my feelings. It's only about him.
No, that has nothing to do with it. Y'all both have to be good for each other.
I do feel like my mom always takes Hunter's side.
I will admit that a lot of times I am Team Hunter. Your answer can't be just to leave every time. You always try to bail on him instead of trying to fix him.
And it's honestly quite bad because the girl is also going through a lot. Whether or not she should have been more responsible is something else entirely. A lot of people online have also reacted strongly to this situation. One comment circulating on Reddit summed up the general frustration viewers have been feeling, saying that Bella deserves better support, and questioning the way her mother handles situations between Bella and Hunter. One comment read, "Good Lord, Bella deserves so much better. Something is very wrong with her mom. Give Bella this silent treatment because Hunter didn't show up for her, and Bella set boundaries?" I'd get that Hunter doesn't really have parents, but that doesn't mean she should neglect her own child to play mom with him, saying, "I don't want my grandson to come from a broken home." Meanwhile, she allowed her 14-year-old to sleep with a 12-year-old with no birth control. I just don't get it. This whole scene led to a lot of people to speculate whether their parents were forcing them to stay in a relationship, to which Phelan replied saying this.
Guys, so I'm going to address just a little bit about Bella and Hunter because all this stuff that I am seeing, I'm not even going to say I'm seeing it because I'm not seeing it. I'm having it sent to me. So it's not things that I'm actually going and seeing myself. I will not listen to the negativity. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to respond to it. I'm not going to have a reaction because honestly, I don't care what people say. Ideal situation? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We know this. Another thing is I don't think people realize that my grandson is 11 months old, okay? He is fixing to have his first birthday next month. When people age, that means everybody ages, not just my daughter, because people are saying that my daughter is 16 and Hunter is 12 or 13. No, that's not the case. I know that a lot of people probably isn't really good at mathing their stuff, but let me math it for you.
Overall, everyone's always talking about how Hunter's life has been affected, how he needs to focus on his studies, how he shouldn't be spending so much time in this situation, but not as much attention is given to Bella, which many people find unfair and one-sided. Even Bella herself seems to feel like she should thank everyone for putting up with her, and she often wonders how Hunter handled everything, while in reality, she is the one who went through a major medical procedure to give birth. Her pregnancy was also extremely difficult. She was just 15 and her baby weighed around 9 pounds, which made natural delivery even more complicated. This is one of the reasons she ended up having a C-section, as there were serious risks involved. Just have a look at her talking about how having a natural delivery has more risk of her dying.
The baby scored at 97th percentile, which was 9 pounds, 12 ounces. So for a young lady, that's a lot of babies. So.
You've done this a long time. What is your recommendation?
Well, that much baby, probably at 15 years old, if the baby hadn't dropped, the C-section would be the smarter thing.
I really don't want to wait. Like, whatever we can do as soon as possible. My first choice was an induction, but the risk of me dying would have been a lot higher just because it could put so much stress on my body and have no progress. And then his heartbeat could drop and mine could skyrocket. And I don't want to have an emergency because that's a lot of trauma. So when he said that C-section was probably the safest, then that was what I would do because I don't want anything to happen to the baby or me.
If y'all have a question, let me know, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I really didn't think he would want to do a C-section. I really thought he would make me wait.
That's the one thing I didn't want for you. That's my baby. Like, I didn't want her to have to get cut open. I wanted her to do it naturally because I've always been told that C-sections are terrifying and all these bad things that happen. But we need to do what is best for her and for Wes.
He'll be okay, hopefully.
These kids talking about these things that they shouldn't even be a part of, and it's really sad to see that. Bella had plans of her own, and now she has this new life to take care of, and it's a problematic situation that the family is not even fully registered.
We're still kids. Next, am I pregnant? I have seen this question so much, and I know where it's coming from. When people watch the show, they think that that is current time, and it is not. That was filmed last February, so it has been a year since I started filming. Nowhere near a year since I ended filming them. Yeah, I would love to hear what question you guys have about that, though, because I love talking about the show. I love being as open as I can about it. I did sign a contract, so there's some things I can't say, but if you have questions, let me know, and I will answer whatever I can. Anyways, this is the last question that I'm going to answer. It's not written down, but I've seen it every single place that I look that my face pops up. So, did I intentionally baby trap Hunter? No, I did not.
And the most troubling part is that they keep talking about Bella having a second child like it's just no big deal. There was even a pregnancy scare on the show that TLC pushed heavily for just the shock factor.
Don't get me wrong, I love my grandson, but the one thing that would cause me to lose my mind and really get pissed off would be if there's another kid that pops up before these two get out of high school and get their life started. Because we're trying to do everything we can to help them, not let this hold them back. But if they have a second whoops, then they're going to be in trouble.
However, like Bella said, it's been 2 whole years since the show aired and there's no news of a second pregnancy. But there is a recent development in the story of this couple, and this next chapter revolves around the drama involving Hunter's dad. A while ago, Hunter actually uploaded a video where he talked about why he hates his dad so much and why he doesn't like living with him.
Well, this is my side of things, since everybody's thinking that Bella's family's making me do everything. I do not like being at my dad's. There's no food there. It's disgusting. I don't like being around them. Pinned me up against the wall by my throat when I was little. Scared. And I've also been videoed there by my little sister as I was getting in the shower. It's just, everybody's thinking that it's Bella's family. It's not. It's really how I feel. And Fallon is not obsessed with me. She's been one of the only people that have actually taken care of me besides my mom. And I like her like she's my mom.
However, what many people did know is that his dad has been really pushing hard in court to get custody, and his reason's simple. He believes that both the Vaughns and his ex-wife Stacy are unfit to take care of him. We all know from the show that Hunter was depressed and was failing 8th grade and not doing great academically.
Even though I just became a dad, the school still don't give me excused absences for being at the hospital, so it sucks having to leave Wes behind.
Hunter has to go to school every day they're open because we need all the odds we can get for him to pass.
So cover him up for a second and give your dad a kiss.
I am glad Hunter decided to go to school instead of staying at the hospital because finishing 8th grade is more important right now. But he wouldn't have been much help anyway. Mom was definitely more help than he would have been.
That's the official request for relief that Casey, Hunter's dad, filed. In the document, Hunter's dad states that the court should enforce the existing temporary custody order, including the prohibition on overnight stays at the residence of Chris Vaughn and Phelan Vaughn, Bella's parents. The request also includes the following restrictions. Number 1, the minor shall not be present at the residence of Chris and Phelan for any purpose unless supervised by Stacy. Number 2, Bella cannot have any unsupervised contact with Hunter. Number 3, Hunter cannot have any contact with Bella's parents without supervision. And lastly, Hunter's phone cannot be tracked by any third party other than his own parents. This highly suggests that the Vaughns might have had access to Hunter's location. In addition to this, Hunter's dad has also filed for custody of his grandson, Wesley. He stated that there is clear and convincing evidence that's in the best interest of Wes that custody be awarded to Casey, his parent and next friend to Hunter. Hunter's dad also asked that Bella and her family only receive visitation, and that Wes's last name be changed to Johnson. Casey went on to state that Bella, who was 14 when she was impregnated by then 12-year-old Hunter, lacks the maturity, judgment, and guidance to care for Wes. He also stated that Bella's parents have allowed her to engage in and make social media posts that are of a or otherwise mature nature. And guess what? Casey's response to all of this was to mock Hunter's dad, quite literally. She posted a TikTok saying, "You don't deserve my energy." She also posted a TikTok saying that Hunter's dad might cross his grandson on the street one day and the kid would never recognize him. Overall, in the last few days, there's been a lot of back and forth in the legal proceedings. Phelan actually responded to all of Casey's motions and denied every single one of the accusations, and she did not agree to the paternity test, which, according to Michelle, could only mean two things. Either she does not want Hunter to have any legal rights over baby Wes, or the baby might not be his. Which is something a lot of people have been talking about. Remember that one clip we showed you where Bella is talking about them getting back together and then getting pregnant within a few days? And Hunter says it was after a few months?
Me and him talked off and on for 3 years.
We recently just got back together.
And then a couple days later, I got pregnant.
No, not a couple.
It was a couple.
About a month.
Hunter, I found out I was pregnant a month later.
Good measure.
Yeah, this one. A lot of people are saying that if they were on a break, and according to Bella, she got pregnant immediately after the break, it's possible that the baby is not Hunter's, but someone she was with during that time. There's a theory that's been discussed by many people on Reddit. Regardless, after this, Casey's attorney actually fired back with another motion. Now, we'll not go through all the tedious details of this case, but just so you know, it's messy, really messy. So here's a little timeline for you guys. Stacy responds to Casey's bid for full custody of Hunter. In her response, she claims that Casey was abusive and that Casey never had an established relationship with Hunter, despite the fact that Hunter lived with Casey for years. She asked the judge to dismiss Casey's filing for custody. Around this time, Casey tells the court that it's been over a year since he was allowed to see Hunter. Then, July 2025, Casey asked the judge to order Stacy to submit to a urine and hair follicle drug test, as he says he believes she's using prescription drugs and or using illegal drugs. Casey offers to pay for the test, but wants Stacy to reimburse him if she tests positive. Later that month, Stacy files to have Casey submit to the same drug tests, writing in court documents that she believes he's also using drugs. Stacy also writes in her response that Casey has not established a meaningful relationship with Hunter and has failed to participate in the child's extracurricular activities or demonstrate involvement in the child's daily life. She claims that Casey's only had a relationship with Hunter for less than 1 year, and during that time it was marked by a pattern of abusive behavior. She again asked the judge to dismiss Casey's bid for custody. In August of last year, Casey claims in court documents that someone called the Department of Human Services, DHS, hotline on him less than 30 days after he filed an amended bid for full custody of Hunter. Because of this report, he says Hunter had to go through a child abuse interview. He also claims that if Stacy made the call or had someone make it, it violates a court order forbidding harassment between them. He asks that Stacy be held in contempt. In her response, Stacy denies making the call or having anyone make it. She also denies Casey's claims that he hasn't seen Hunter in over a year. She mentions several instances where Hunter did see Casey, including one in February 2025, where Casey allegedly stood Hunter up for a visit to the batting cages, something that was also shown on the show. Yeah, you see, really messy. As for the whole uninvolved father allegation, There's been some information online suggesting that Casey believes he has Hunter's best interests at heart. For example, there's a screenshot of a conversation he had with Hunter when TLC first approached the families for the show. From the looks of it, Hunter's dad was not very enthusiastic about the idea, even though the producers reached out to him to be a part of it. In the text, he wrote, "I'm simply just trying to fix my relationship with you." There are also screenshots of conversations between Hunter's mom and Casey, in which he asks Stacy if Hunter is staying over at Bella's, and Stacy replies that he is, while Casey clearly shows discomfort with this type of arrangement. From what it looks like, Casey might have been trying to fix his relationship with Hunter, but it was probably Hunter's mom who, like many toxic divorced parents, was trying to create a wedge between the two. Now, Casey's mother, Hunter's grandmother, has created a GoFundMe page to help support Hunter's father with the legal fees for the court case that Casey and Brittany are fighting. Brittany's Casey's current partner, by the way. In the meantime, there have been other things happening as well, and we think it's interesting to mention that both Bella and her mom have been outing the show's producers, saying that a lot of the show is scripted. In this one live stream, you can hear Bella's youngest sister asking her mom why she agreed to the script.
Now the babies are 7 weeks apart. To sign up for the show, that was Bella's decision, guys.
You gotta make them take birth control now.
Bella is really considering getting on birth control.
Why would you agree to that script?
Agree to what script?
That's what they on the show.
Allie, there's 800 some people in here. I don't know what you're talking about.
So why would you agree to that script about what you had to say on the show?
Oh, yeah. Some of the things that are said on there is what we were told to say. Like, all of it is not. Yes, Bella and Hunter are still together.
Other than this, Bella herself has also talked about how much of what is shown or said on the show is not completely real, except for certain parts of her experience. Honestly speaking, we wouldn't be shocked if that were true. TLC's been criticized before many times for the way it exploits families and highlights the most shocking aspects for entertainment. Even past shows like the Duggar Family Show have raised concerns about how much reality TV can blur the line between awareness and exploitation. We mean the entire Duggar family suffered, including the sisters, and eventually ended with their eldest son being arrested for child pee. And the Vaughn story seems to be following a somewhat similar pattern. We're talking about Phelan's arrest, of course. Yes, Bella's mom has reportedly been arrested on charges of disorderly conduct and obstructing governmental operations. According to online discussions, the situation is linked to a custody-related incident involving Hunter. From what's being said, Hunter was somewhere and needed to be picked up by a family friend. At this point, it's believed that his dad had been granted custody of Hunter, so he was living with Casey and his stepmom, Brittany. So when Casey was out one night working and Brittany was at home, Phelan allegedly arrived where Hunter was and attempted to take him with her. Hunter's parents called the police and she was told to bring the child back, which she did. However, things escalated when she allegedly returned with other family members, including Chris, Bella, and baby Wes, and gathered outside Casey's house, while only Brittany was present there at the time. We don't know exactly what happened in full detail, but the situation reportedly escalated enough that Phelan was arrested. A TikTok clip recorded from the neighborhood has also been posted by none other than Michelle.
That's only a face that your husband could love. Anyway, so she has been arrested for disorderly conduct and obstructing governmental operations. And apparently, Freaky Fallon decided to pull up to Hunter's dad's house. Okay, because Stacy and Hunter's dad and stepmom had gotten into it earlier that day because apparently Hunter was supposed to go home with a family friend from baseball practice because the stepmom was working late, and Hunter's dad, he starts work at like 7. He works like a third shift, right? And he wasn't able to get him, so he was going to go home with a family friend. The stepmom was going to be there. Stacy said, no, we're not doing that, and refused to have him go with the family friend, tried to take him on their parenting time. They called the cops, right? Cops said, bring him. It is not your right to have him. She brings him, but brings an entourage. And it was Creepy Chris, Freaky Fallon, Bella, and Wesley, and her husband Clay. So they brought all these people to the dad's house to basically start some shit with the stepmom because they knew that the dad, Casey, was at work. So they literally tried to bring all these people for one person who has children. And I have all the footage. I have all the footage. I'm going to be releasing footage all day tomorrow, but I'm going to leave you with Fallon's arrest because that's the best part. She gets arrested. She's on the ground. And what's crazy is that she doesn't even acknowledge while she's getting arrested. She doesn't acknowledge Stacy. She doesn't acknowledge her husband. She doesn't acknowledge her daughter who's in the car with her grandson. The only person she acknowledges is Hunter, like the creepy ass, weird ass, obsessive ass, in love with his ass bitch that she is. It's insane. Let's roll the clip.
Should I cause a complaint because they're parked in front of my house?
Things have clearly escalated to a breaking point, and honestly, it's been a deeply complicated and emotional situation to watch unfold, especially considering how young everyone involved is. At the center of it all is this very young child, only around 1 to 2 years old, who's growing up in the middle of constant conflict between two families and ongoing legal tension. How did things get to a point where so many adults, so many systems, and so many decisions ended up colliding around children who were never really in a position to understand the consequences in the first place? And most importantly, does TLC as a channel need to make better creative decisions? The internet is no stranger to making people famous, whether it's for a short time or sometimes much longer. And then there are people like Big Ed, the kind who, despite being hated by the masses and even having multiple petitions signed to get him off TV, somehow just keeps coming back. A man who cheated on his own wife, yet every time he talks about love on screen, he presents himself as if he's the one who was hurt, like he's the victim in the story. And after his divorce, instead of slowing down or reflecting on it, he continued going after women significantly younger than him, even younger than his own daughter. He's also known for things like putting mayonnaise in his hair and creating some of the most uncomfortable reality TV moments ever aired. And every time it seems like he's done, he finds his way back into the spotlight. Most people know him from 90 Day Fiancé. But his story is more than just one bad relationship caught on camera. It's a pattern, a cycle that keeps repeating, leaving him single, lonely, and desperate, all rooted in the kind of person he is. And it doesn't start on TV. You can trace it back to his earlier relationships, long before he ever appeared on screen, including his divorce and the messy history that followed. Then he ends up on a TLC show called 90 Day Fiancé, a show where couples have 90 days to decide whether they're going to get married, usually between a US citizen and someone from another country. And yeah, that definitely sets the stage for some drama. And that's where we meet Rose, a single mother living a completely different life, about to meet Ed for the first time. But before getting into the show itself, a bit of context is needed to understand how things even got here. You see, Big Ed was a 54-year-old photographer from the United States at the time, already coming from a past that included a failed marriage that ended after he cheated on his wife.
My track record with relationships is not very good. I was married for 2 years, and it didn't work out because I was unfaithful.
The nickname Big Ed, believe it or not, was something he had chosen for himself, claiming it came from having a big personality, despite his, well, relatively small physical stature. Growing up, he was heavily bullied for his height and often called No Neck Ed due to a condition known as Klippel-Feil syndrome, which affects the bones in the neck. Over time, those experiences seemed to shape a lot of his insecurities and how he carried himself later in life. He even talked about this during his time on the show.
My height is something that I'm very self-conscious of, but it's something that I've been able to overcome because I'm Big Ed.
After his divorce, Ed eventually met a 23-year-old woman named Rose online through Facebook. They started talking, and according to Ed, things escalated quickly on his side, with him claiming he fell in love head over heels relatively early in their conversations.
Is Rosemarie. She's 23 years old, and she lives in the Philippines. One day I'm online on social media. I'm scrolling through, adding friends, and I come across Rosemarie's picture, and I'm like, oh my God, I sent her a friend request. She accepted me, and we became friends about 3 months ago. She has the most amazing, deep brown eyes. I was like, wow, I'm in love.
And when you see them side by side, the contrast is pretty hard to ignore. Different ages, different lives, completely different worlds. It's not exactly subtle why this dynamic stands out. Now, to put that into perspective, Ed's own daughter was already 28 at the time, meaning he was getting involved with someone younger than the daughter he had from his previous marriage. Despite all of that and the obvious gap between them, he decided to take things further and flew out to the Philippines to meet Rose in person for the first time. And needless to say, the meeting was awkward right from the beginning. At the very start, Ed immediately asks Rose if he's what she expected. Rose responds honestly that she thought he would be taller, and that's because Ed had already catfished her about his height, telling her he was about 5 foot 2 inches when in reality he was closer to 4 foot 11 inches.
That you.
Am I what you expected? You like?
I expected yours told to me.
I thought if I told you I was the same height, maybe I would have a chance.
But this moment is really just a preview of what's to come, because things only get worse once Ed actually goes to stay with Rose. To be fair, Rose was a poor girl from the Philippines, and her living conditions reflected that. Her home didn't have the same comforts Ed was used to, but even with that context, Ed's reactions come off as rude and dismissive from the moment he arrives. The first thing he says when stepping inside is questioning whether the roof will even hold.
Half of the houses don't have windows. It's pretty much open. I'm not looking forward to it. Will this roof hold? It's not gonna come down, no?
From there, he continues complaining about almost everything, from not having air conditioning to saying the bedding wasn't suitable for his condition.
With my sister.
But I have a skin condition called atopic dermatitis, so I can only sleep with sheets that have at least 1,000 thread count. So I preemptively shipped these special sheets to Rose, but they didn't arrive. And this was one of the worst nights of my life. I'm completely drained. I haven't slept. The mattress that I slept in was soaking wet. This was the first night I've ever spent without access to air conditioning, and I hated it.
At one point, he even goes to work with Rose's father on a pig farm. And instead of just adapting to the environment, he puts plastic bags over his shoes before stepping outside, fully leaning into how uncomfortable he is with the situation. It's a pattern that quickly becomes obvious. Instead of trying to connect with Rose's world, Ed spends most of his time pointing out everything he finds wrong with it. Eventually, Ed managed to convince Rose to travel with him to a different part of the Philippines, where they would stay in a hotel together. But once they arrived, something immediately felt off. He had booked 2 separate beds for a room that was supposed to be shared. When Rose questioned it, Ed explained that he wanted to take things slow.
Why you want 2 beds?
Because I want to take it slow.
Okay, you're so sweet.
Yeah, I want you to feel comfortable.
However, in a later interview, he admitted the real reason was different. He said Rose didn't talk much about her past relationships, and because of that, he was worried she might have an STD. Now, coming from someone who had already cheated on his own wife, the situation came off as highly hypocritical.
More than to be intimate with Rose right now, but I'm not really comfortable doing that yet. I still know nothing about her past, so I'm not planning on having sex with Rose until she takes an STD test.
Later during their date, things got even more uncomfortable when Ed asked Rose to take an STD test. The way he brought it up made it feel like she was unclean, while he positioned himself as the responsible one, even though he tried to soften it by saying he didn't mean to offend her. There were clearly better ways he could have approached that conversation, but the delivery was extremely tone deaf.
No, yeah, it's a test for I don't know if you understand it. It's STD, which is, I think it's a blood test, and they just test to see if you have like sexually transmitted disease.
You want to test me? I feel you would not trust me. Okay? I feel offended.
When Rose agreed, she also asked him to take one as well. I mean, fair enough. However, instead of agreeing, he refused, saying not that he wouldn't take it at all, but that he wouldn't take it in the Philippines, implying that it was okay for her to take it there, but not for him. And somehow, even this still wasn't the breaking point. After they made up the next morning over breakfast, they ended up having Anyway, as Ed woke up, he seemed excited to move things forward again. But instead of a romantic or normal moment, he immediately pointed out something else. He told Rose that her legs were hairy. Yeah, just have one look at this dude and imagine him telling someone that they are hairy. And the way he said it came off awkward and almost unintentionally insulting, especially the way he spoke to her as if she wouldn't understand him. Ironically, despite her limited English, Rose consistently showed more emotional awareness and social understanding than Ed throughout their interactions. He says, "Your legs are kind of like mine," basically implying they're both hairy in a way that clearly wasn't meant as a compliment. He then goes on to ask Rose to shave her legs, and the way he phrases it later in interviews makes it sound more like a demand than a mutual request.
Awfully bored.
Last night when I noticed that your legs were kind of like mine, they were hairy.
What?
Yeah. Leg hair, it just seems kind of less feminine for a woman. So I don't like leg hair. It's gross.
So yeah, anyways, Rose agrees, but only on the condition that Ed also shaves his beard, which had grown out by that point. She holds up her side of the deal, but when it comes to Ed, we later see that he never actually follows through. But this is still the beginning. What made things worse was what he did later when he told Rose he had a surprise for her. The next day, he asked her to close her eyes and then pulled out 2 sets of lingerie.
Don't look. No look, okay? I hope you like. So this goes on top. And then this. So this is for outdoors. Okay. The swimming pool. And then, big surprise.
What is that? For?
It's called a teddy. My dog is named Teddy. This is also called Teddy. Rose and I have only made love once, so being intimate is still quite new for us. But all in all, I think Rose and I have good chemistry. I brought along a couple presents from home, so I think now is the time to give her lingerie.
Yeah, the guy who wanted to keep things slow just bought her lingerie. Real slow, Ed.
You want to try that on now? Are you nervous?
Yeah, to this.
Okay.
When Ed gave me a lingerie, I feel shocked because I don't know how to wear it. Because this is the first time to see it like this.
The moment immediately made Rose uncomfortable. These were the kind of gifts that are usually introduced much later in a relationship, not a few days after meeting someone in person for the first time. But the second gift was arguably even worse. He then gave her a toothbrush and toothpaste, saying it was because he thought her breath smelled bad. Yup.
So this is mouthwash, and I got you a cute toothbrush. Your breath is not pretty. One of the first things I noticed, even at the airport, was her breath, but I didn't know how to bring it up. And I don't think she realizes it, but I do. And then I got you good toothpaste. Do you know that my concern is your health? Because if you get disease in your mouth, it goes to your heart. You could get sick. Do you understand?
I know what you mean, but this is from my stomach, not my teeth.
Oh, really?
I have an ulcer,
Oh, you have an ulcer?
Yeah.
This is the first time you're telling me you have an ulcer?
I always toothbrush.
Okay. So now you tell me, I understand from my heart. I care about you.
I know. I'm so exalted that I want to give a punch to Ed, and I feel embarrassed. I think Ed is a rude person. If Ed truly loved me, kailangan na lang tanggapin ni Ed kung ano ko.
I love you.
The issue is that Rose later explained she did brush her teeth regularly, and that the problem was actually related to a stomach ulcer. Another thing about Ed that always seemed off was his timing, or more specifically, how poorly he chose when to say certain things. We mean, just look at how cringe it is even when he tries to give a compliment.
I like the view.
You do?
Yes.
You're my best view.
Me.
Beyond that, he also picked a very strange moment to bring up a serious issue. During a romantic candlelit dinner at the hotel, he suddenly asked her about an incident involving Rose's sister, who had previously asked Ed for money to help save her shop. He questioned whether Rose knew about it, which she denied.
When I was in San Diego, your sister Maria asked me for money, for help, but also asked me not to tell you. So, did you know about that?
I don't know.
You didn't know anything about that?
No.
I wasn't sure if you were involved, but you're telling me you're not.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I believe you. Okay, I believe you.
Really?
Your sister made me doubt you, but no more.
The problem was that this was not the right time for that conversation at all, especially since Rose's sister had originally brought it up while Ed was still in the United States. He had plenty of time to ask about it earlier, but he waited until a tense moment during dinner to bring it up instead. Good game, Ed. But wait, because the worst example came at the end of the trip. Right before things fell apart, Ed told Rose that he had scheduled a vasectomy because he did not want more children. The issue is that earlier in their conversations, Rose had made it clear that she still wanted more kids. Despite that, he never brought it up until the very last moment of the trip.
What? I do not understand.
There's an operation in here where it's a snip. It prevents me from getting you pregnant.
Why you not tell me last night?
I didn't know how.
I want 2 kids because that's my dream. I tell you before, right? I tell you I want 2 kids, but why you not answer me like this? I feel very, very, very sad. And I think I give you a time for...
So when he finally revealed it, it became the breaking point of their relationship. Rose left Ed after that conversation.
I think for now, I not feel good.
Okay, not feel good about having kids.
Yeah.
You want kids.
Yeah, I want kids because that's my dream. I feel irritated, I feel disappointed, you know, because I told Ed so many times I want baby. Why you not tell me the truth? You not want a baby? Why?
What do you mean?
Why you not tell me first before you come here? Why? Why? What's wrong?
Because I'm 54 years old. I don't want more kids.
Why you not tell me the truth? Why you not telling me first on chatting? Why you tell me right now? Oh, yesterday. Why you not tell me before you come here?
I should have been more truthful. I apologize. I should have said, look, I don't want more kids, but I wanted to get to know you. I wanted you to get to know me, to make sure that we are compatible. I wanted you to see who I am.
I know who you are. I think. You first lied to me about height, right? And then you want to give me STD test, right? And about mouthwash. And why you tell me? I know I have a sick and I have an ulcer. So I'm disappointed because you always embraced me. Yeah. And about to my sister, I think you think me like my sister, same. You think I want your money, not you. You give me feel a little bit pressure. I think you not love me. I'm done.
Afterwards, Ed was visibly emotional, talking about how he could not believe she was really gone, even though from the outside it was clear that this was a joke of a relationship that had been falling apart from day one. We mean he had moved far too quickly and pushed the idea of marriage long before they were ever on the same page. However, at this point, people still didn't really hate Big Ed. Most just saw him as awkward and unintentionally funny. And guess what? Ed leaned into that. He started appearing on multiple YouTube channels, framing himself as someone who just does dumb things, almost playing into the persona people already had of him.
I just do naturally I do dumb things, like you saw in the video with, vacuuming the cookies, and there's 1,000 different ones. Anyway, so...
He even appeared on a show with H3H3 and recreated his famous mayonnaise hair care routine. And yeah, that didn't help much.
Ed, bring it over here. No. Bring it over here so we can see on camera. It's right here. That's good. Absolutely. So Big Ed is dumping the mayonnaise on the spatula.
Oh my God.
What we have here is a nice ring of mayonnaise on the spatula. Oh. It is looking beautiful. Zach, would you like to smell it before we engage? No.
Oh my God,
excellent.
that's a lie.
Okay, so don't worry about making a mess. It's totally fine.
Oh.
And so what?
One thing you're going to notice, Zach, is it's going to be cold.
So cold.
Okay?
What?
It's cold. Okay. And the second thing you're going to notice is it smells like egg salad sandwiches.
Now, Zach, go ahead and tell me from your experience, how is this going?
Smell. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
I recommend more shampoo at this point. Okay. We'll get just a lot of shampoo, I think.
He stayed active on social media, which kept him relevant, and since he wasn't widely hated yet, people actually wanted to see him embarrass himself even more. He also started making cameos and made a significant amount of money from them. That level of popularity didn't go unnoticed by TLC.
I want you to return the favor. And I think you know what I'm talking about. Sexy pics always work. Michael, that doesn't mean that you send me anything sexy. Send them to her.
Go easy on the Tanner, okay? You're not Donald Trump.
Eventually, he was brought back for another show called 90 Day, The Single Life, a spin-off of the original series. This is where he meets his next major relationship. Liz was a 28-year-old waitress and a single mother, someone Ed had been friends with for a few months before eventually asking her out on a date. And unsurprisingly, she was also younger than his daughter at the time.
I'm about to ask my friend Liz out on a date. I've had a crush on Liz for about 2 months. She's a totally hot waitress manager. She's 28 years old.
They went on a couple of dates, and at first, it seemed like Liz might have actually cared about Ed, at least to some extent. But she made one thing very clear from the beginning. She wanted to take things slow and not rush into a relationship, especially because of her past divorces.
It's kind of hard to think about somebody else outside of just my daughter, Riley. It was very easy to become selfish after 2 long-term relationships, so.
Was the first one Riley's dad?
And then I had a second marriage, but I don't ever really talk about that.
Oh.
That was like, I think, the worst heartbreak, so.
But it's fresh. I mean, it's still fresh. Yeah.
I'm definitely not putting myself in a position to rush again from 2 divorces, and I'm still guarded. We've grown like a great connection, but I have no problems telling Ed if I only feel like this is gonna be a friendship and not moving forward just because of my very recent heartbreak.
And it's not like the dates themselves were anything special. The first one already felt awkward with very little chemistry between them.
So how's it going?
Good. Good. Starving.
Starving, I know.
I was getting hangry.
So, here we are. Oh my God.
I wore flip-flops specifically.
The second date was somehow even stranger. He took her to a goat farm where they did yoga, which sounds unique in theory, but in reality just meant trying to focus while also trying not to get rammed by goats. Not exactly relaxing.
So the goats are gonna make it extra challenging here. Exhale, palms down to the mat.
At one point, they even had a conversation about the age gap. Liz brought up how it could be an issue, especially considering Ed's history and how similar it was to his previous relationship.
You say that you're kind of in the same boat as me, and then I've talked about my daughter. I wanted to talk about your daughter or how that relationship is.
So her big thing, especially with my last relationship, she had a lot of reservations because of the age.
How old is she?
30.
30? Well, I'm 28. So, yeah, she has a right to feel that way. I can only imagine if I was in her shoes. I hope you and your daughter work on that. It does worry me, though, with the whole age thing or something. Like, all those problems that came with, like, Rose would come up again.
Ed responded with the classic age is just a number, which came off as pretty creepy and cringe, to be honest. Liz immediately pushed back, making it clear that to her, age did matter.
So.
Age is just a number.
I don't exactly believe in that.
And even behind the scenes, his mindset didn't really match what she was asking for. At one point, he talked about wanting to get Liz into a hot tub with him, which didn't exactly line up with the whole taking things slow approach she had been very clear about.
I mean, I might as well just go for it. And maybe I can get Liz in the hot tub by the end of tonight.
But by the third date, despite Liz repeatedly saying she wasn't sure she even wanted a relationship, Ed decided to ignore all of that and went in for a kiss. Liz pulled away and said it felt too soon, making it clear once again that he wasn't really listening to her boundaries.
You don't mind if I stare at you? Where's your car at?
Like right there.
Cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you. You can't do that.
Why not? I kissed your nose.
No.
Too soon?
That kind of pushed me back.
Where?
Huh? I didn't know you were going in for that.
I didn't either.
The awkward moments were already bad enough on their own, but Ed somehow made things even worse, as he always does. At one point, he stopped by the restaurant where Liz worked and saw her having drinks with another man. Instead of letting it go or asking about it calmly, he brought it up the next time they met and confronted her in the worst way possible, even though they weren't officially dating at that point.
I saw you together, and then I kind of came over to say hi, but I felt kind of like I was interrupting.
He's my good friend, as a guy friend, and there's nothing between us.
Okay, hold on one second. And then I saw you guys walk into your car one night.
He walks me all the time to the parking
But
garage.
I think he likes you. I mean, who wouldn't?
And it turned out to be nothing. The guy was just a coworker she regularly hung out with. But Ed's reaction made it clear how insecure and controlling he could be, even this early on. A similar situation happened again when he accused Liz of wanting to get back with her ex-husband, just because she had run into him at some point. Again, this was while they still weren't even in a proper relationship.
With girlfriends on a girls' night out, and by coincidence ran into her ex-husband. I have this insecurity with her that she might go back to her ex because I think she has in the past. So I basically accused her of still being in contact with him, which was not the right thing to do.
It was a huge reach, but it showed a pattern. Even without commitment, Ed was already actively possessively and jumping to the worst conclusions. But despite all of this, they actually decided to pursue a relationship together. And honestly, we don't know how he pulled it off when he said the goofiest, most cringe-inducing lines ever. Like, "You were born the same week my divorce was finalized, so I feel like you're here for a reason."
You were born the same week my divorce was finalized. So for me, I'm like, you're here for a reason.
Yeah, the audacity is honestly unfathomable. But it's not like their relationship was ever that stable to begin with. Over the course of just a few months, they kept breaking up and getting back together repeatedly. It was a constant cycle, and it started almost immediately after they became official. One of the first major things Ed did was introduce Liz to his daughter, who ironically was older than her. It was the same daughter who already had issues with Ed dating women that young. The problem wasn't just the age dynamic, it was the timing. The relationship was still brand new, and Ed was already rushing things again, saying "I love you" early on and trying to force a level of seriousness that just wasn't there yet.
Too soon for that. I'm just kidding.
Introducing her to his daughter at that stage only made things more complicated. It wasn't just too soon, it also put Liz in an uncomfortable position, especially given how his daughter already felt about the situation. She literally says it's too soon for herself.
That's also a little nerve-wracking, being the same age. So,
You know, the age, for me, it's a number.
The entire situation blew up almost immediately. The moment his daughter Tiffany sat down with them, there was an awkward silence, followed by her going straight into the age issue. She clearly wasn't comfortable with the relationship, and she didn't try to hide it.
I'll just break that. This is awkward.
It is awkward.
It is. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually meeting a girlfriend, really. My concern is with the age gap and the fact that you are younger than me. Not by much, but still, like, why are you dating somebody that's younger than your daughter? Like, that's weird. Because if roles were reversed, he would lose his shit if I was dating somebody that was 54. Number one, I wouldn't do it because that's just not me. My max is 12 years.
Behind the scenes, it got even worse. Tiffany was seen making fun of Liz, which only added to how uncomfortable the whole situation already was.
Walking in and seeing my dad and Liz, it's a lot. I'm afraid for my dad to get his heart broken. Again, Rose and Liz are similar. They both have younger kids and they're both younger than me. But Liz looks older than me. She looks rugged. Botox does wonders.
And instead of diffusing any of it, Ed only made things more awkward by saying he found the two of them alike, which made no sense in context and was honestly creepy.
But I was telling her that you guys are like the same.
I'm gonna say that weirds me out. That's just awkward as f. That is the last thing I want to hear. Like, I don't want to hear, oh yeah, my girlfriend is like you.
Later on, things reportedly escalated further when Tiffany brought a friend into the conversation off camera, and the two of them were seen giggling, chatting, and making jokes at Liz's expense, including comments suggesting she should find men her own age.
And then at the club, I heard Tiffany, and the comments the friend was saying, giggling, chatting, can't you just find someone your age? I was sitting right next to her. It was very disrespectful.
Later on, Ed, after sensing things were off at the hotel, kept pushing Liz to talk about issues she clearly didn't want to discuss, repeatedly crossing her boundaries until it became too much. She ended up flying back from Vegas alone the next morning. Even in hindsight, Ed often seemed to victimize himself, framing the situation as if he were the one being hurt rather than acknowledging his role in it.
Sitting in this hotel room, all by myself, I felt like I was back in the Philippines when Rose and I broke up.
When they later reconciled on 90 Day the Single Life, they went on a beach trip where Ed once again fumbled things by asking Liz to move in with him. This was still within the same 90-day time frame, despite Liz repeatedly saying she didn't want to move too fast. She even ended up agreeing uncomfortably on camera.
I want my home to be our home. And I want to ask you to move in.
Ed loves to rush our relationship. When we finally became a couple, the next week I was meeting his daughter, the next week I was meeting his sister, his brother.
But in the reunion episode, it was revealed they had broken up again. Tiffany said they broke up around 7 times during filming, and Liz confirmed Ed's constant rushing was a major reason.
We broke up.
You broke up?
Yeah.
We broke up a month ago today.
During the reunion, Ed tried to get emotional on screen, saying it was the first time someone had loved him.
29 years that I had somebody that was interested in me.
But Liz shut that down, revealing that just 2 days after their breakup, he blocked her and went to Vegas to party with strippers.
You blocked me and went to Vegas.
Are you saying that Ed was hanging out with other women?
I didn't expect to be dumped and then him be out in Vegas living the life.
How soon after you guys broke up did you know he was hanging out in Vegas?
Like 2 days.
Oh, shit.
Oh. 2 days.
Damn, bro.
Wow.
You sound like a piece of shit. That would make me blush. And that's saying something. You're tricking Liz here. You gave her all this crap while you're off having fun with all the sugar babies. What the fuck is she supposed to do?
That moment fully turned the room against him, and public opinion followed, with many finally seeing him as manipulative and emotionally inconsistent. And to make it worse, after the show, Ed later asked Liz for a private conversation under the guise of reconciliation, while behind the scenes he told the cameraman he was probably going to sleep with her, even though he knew he shouldn't.
I'm gonna grab my stuff. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight. I mean, I'm thinking about whether I'm gonna wanna have sex with her or not. It's probably not a good idea.
Is that gonna stop you?
Probably not.
There was even a leaked phone call after all of this in which Ed was being very disrespectful, which only pushed public opinion further against Ed.
I'll always love you, but I can't be with you.
Are you done? Because I've been sitting around the corner from your house from the second I clocked out.
I don't give a fuck, Liz. You're fucked up. Fuck you, dude. You're fucked up.
Stop speaking to me like this, Ed. Stop!
For you to even offer to give a coworker a home, a ride home to El Cajon, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I called you and asked you, and you said...
I don't give a fuck.
Then why did you say yes? Why did you say okay?
Fuck you. Fuck you. You are fucked up in the head. If I would have said no, you would have freaked out. Oh, you're jealous, or whatever. But what right do you have to ask me?
What right do you have to get back together with me and go to clubs in Vegas?
After this season aired, a petition was started to remove Big Ed from TLC. And it wasn't just because of the phone call, or the fact that public opinion had clearly turned against him. It also came from the growing number of concerns and uncomfortable questions surrounding his behavior overall. An ex-coworker who had previously come forward with allegations of inappropriate behavior and harassment from his time working as a photographer before the Rose situation ever happened, a TikTok creator known as Lordakit also shared claims that she had worked with Ed and described her experience, alleging that he had harassed her over a period of time and on one occasion physically restrained her shortly after meeting her.
Let's get into some of the details about the allegations that you have come forth with. So you have said on your TikTok videos that is it both sexual harassment and sexual assault?
Yeah, it's both. For about 9 months, I was being harassed by him and also by him. I don't know if you've seen my last TikTok or one of my TikToks about
an example of the first day that I met him, and that was also assault. So a lot going on with these allegations.
So he put you in an arm lock on the first day that.
Yeah.
Did he? That was just day one. Did he do anything else physically?
She also claimed that his behavior followed a pattern of targeting much younger women, typically in their mid-20s.
By the end of it, I ended up in the hospital from an incident that happened with him, and I ended up having a lot of health issues from it. This was about 4 years ago, so I've been still trying to heal myself since that incident.
Okay, I see. Now, why do you think that Big Ed targeted you specifically?
So, I think Ed has kind of like this MO for going for vulnerable younger women. At the time, I was 24, about the age of Rose, and at that age, you're really trying to figure out what's going on in the world. You're not quite sure how.
While Ed has denied these allegations, and they were never proven in court, they've continued to circulate online and are often referenced when discussing his past. Even without the allegations, his on-screen behavior already showed a pattern that many people saw as inappropriate and self-serving, especially given how often he framed himself as the victim. And while the harassment claims were never proven, the way he presented himself publicly, going after women much younger than him, even younger than his own daughter, and his past infidelity made those allegations easier for people to believe. Even Liz signed the petition, sharing it on her Instagram. But while many people hoped something would change, others already knew how this would play out. As one Reddit comment put it, this never works. If anything, controversy sells and gets views. The more he's mentioned on social media, and the more he gets shown. These shows don't care if you like or hate a character, they just want you to talk about them. These anti-Ed campaigns are actually backfiring by increasing his visibility, and that's exactly what ended up happening. Instead of being removed, Ed came back again. By season 2 of The Single Life, TLC brought him right back, because like it or not, he was still getting attention, and we all know TLC loves the shock factor. He was back on the market, and of course, he wasted no time trying to capitalize on it. He went on a date with a woman locally, but that didn't work out. Shocking, we know. By this point, his reputation had pretty much caught up with him.
Let's talk about relationships.
Okay, so I'm not good at them.
Mm-hmm.
And Liz, the last woman I dated, was 28. I make up and break up 8 times. Who does that?
8 times. Who did the breaking up? Wow.
So naturally, instead of reflecting or changing anything, Ed decided to switch strategies. If it's not working here, why not just go somewhere else? This time he set his sights on Mexico, going after a woman named Kaori. And in peak Big Ed fashion, after just one Skype call, he thought the best possible move was to fly out and meet her in person, and for some reason bring his mom along too.
So Laura tells me that you're single.
I'm single, very single.
Oh, gracias. Okay, más. I'm just kidding.
Needless to say, the plan worked out exactly how you'd expect. In what was now a very familiar storyline, almost a repeat of his last 2 relationships, Ed once again ignored boundaries, rushed into talk of marriage, pushed introductions way too early, and moved at a speed no one else was even close to matching.
Me pareció bonito que Ed abriera su corazón hacia mí, pero creo que una relación se construye, y para construir se necesitan días, semanas, meses, años.
And of course, it all ended on a yacht, because why not, where Kaori left him there alone, effectively walking away from yet another situation that had become painfully predictable. And that wasn't the only loss Ed suffered by this point. His dog, which he took everywhere, had passed away. Now that might make you sympathize with him for a moment, but the reason it matters here is what it led to. Not long after, he received a package offering condolences for his dog, and somehow that ended up leading to a date with none other than Liz. The craziest part is that this time they weren't just dating, they were engaged.
I am engaged.
We're engaged.
The episode where Ed was left alone on that yacht had been filmed just 2 weeks earlier. and according to Liz, they had gotten engaged only 8 days before it was revealed. Which means, doing the math, just 6 days before asking Liz to marry him, Ed was trying to get Kaori to marry him. So clearly, a lot of deep thought, emotional growth, and careful decision-making went into that proposal. It was almost funny watching Liz start to buy into the same weird narratives Ed kept feeding her. At some point, Ed had convinced her that every breakup wasn't really his fault, that it was always someone else interfering or causing problems. And somehow Liz ended up repeating the same version of events on the Single Life reunion.
What I recently found out is anytime he broke up with me, it wasn't him messaging me.
Even all the other contestants could clearly see what was going on.
Whoever you pay or is stupid enough to do it for free is like, hey, can you break up with my broad for me?
Well,
I just fucked her and left her. I don't want to write a long message, and my grammar ain't too good.
Not
Liz, you gotta wake up. And you're not in love with her. You're using her. You are desperate.
Who's not?
You're desperate.
That alone should have been the end of it, but of course it wasn't. Instead, they brought them back once again for 90-day happily ever after. And honestly, you just had to wonder, when is enough actually enough? On the show, they had 2 engagement parties on screen, and one of them still managed to completely implode. There had been an altercation involving Liz and her friend, and of course, Ed took that and jumped straight to accusing her of cheating with her, because clearly that was the only conclusion he could reach. Instead of handling it privately like a normal person, he decided the best possible moment to confront her was right there, in the middle of their engagement party. Perfect timing as always.
Who's not in a relationship?
Seriously?
That's what it looked like.
Seriously?
Later.
Oh, yourself.
No.
No,
Baby.
go have fun if that's what you're gonna think.
Liz didn't exactly calm things down either. She stormed out dramatically and didn't come back, fully committing to the I'm done exit.
Liz, you're ruining the entire evening for your mom, for your grandma. You are out of control. You're drunk.
Shut up.
Liz, you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm not embarrassing myself.
Which would have made sense if they didn't both live in the same house.
Liz, she was a lesbian that you were in a relationship with. She got physical with you.
When?
And you denied it.
When?
You tell me.
So now you had 2 people running away from each other like it was over, only to eventually walk back into the same front door later as if nothing had happened. Absolute cinema. But this was nowhere near the worst of it from Ed. During the season, he did a lot of questionable things with Liz. He didn't directly call her fat, but he made these so-called positive hints about her needing to lose weight.
And I also eat pie, and I have a sweet tooth. I'm overweight too.
You could even fit into your. Am I overweight, Ed?
Liz, why are you using the
Am I overweight?
No. I've never called Liz fat. I'll drop positive hints.
This included showing her old photos of when she was skinnier, which clearly didn't land well. At one point while drunk, he even admitted he would sleep with one of Liz's model friends. Coming from this guy, it just made the whole thing even more surreal.
You drink to a point where you can't stand up.
Every single night.
I've never drank to the point where I can't stand up.
You told me when you were drunk the other night that you would rather sleep with Alex her than me.
But by far the most chaotic part was the reunion episode of the season. Besides revealing that the wedding was off and they had broken up, Liz dropped multiple bombshells. She revealed that during their relationship, Ed had been active on multiple Asian dating apps. Ed denied it repeatedly in that classic frustrating way where he just kept digging in instead of actually addressing it.
I don't know if he's been seeing anybody else, but I know he was on a dating app.
How do you know?
I got a screenshot through Instagram.
Because she spies on me?
I got a screenshot through Instagram that my mom found. How am I spying on you when it's an Asian dating website?
Okay, so let's
Ed,
back.
you were on a dating.
Okay, let's
you were
back
on an
up. Let's
Asian
okay.
dating website.
Again,
when we got
it was
this
a year and a half old.
My mom and I created an account, which was very hard to create an account.
Which is kind of weird.
Then came the bigger shock, or at least what should have been one. Liz accused Ed of being in contact with Rose. Ed denied that as well at first. Then when pressed again, his answer conveniently shifted to, I don't remember. Not exactly a solid defense.
I would have to go back and look. I may have said hello. We're friends on Instagram.
But you don't remember if you have been in any kind of text conversation with her recently?
I may have. I don't remember.
At that point, Rose was even brought up on screen and confirmed that Ed had contacted her, which pretty much shut the whole thing down.
Ed always asking me for FaceTime. He want to video call with him to FaceTime.
So Ed said that he hasn't spoken to you at all, and then now he's saying he can't remember if he spoke to you.
I didn't.
That's not true.
The episode ended with Liz and Ed splitting again, with Ed leaving for Boston like it was some dramatic reset button.
I don't want to be Liz's enemy. I would like to remain as her friend. I don't hate her. Like, you know, I still love her. I'm just gonna have to figure out a different way to love her. It's not fair to her that I do keep going back to her. It's not a healthy thing. And I apologize for my behavior. That's not who I am. My ring is here. And I didn't want to ask for it back, but you know, it's 13 grand, and you know, maybe I'll give it to my daughter. We came with separate accommodations, so she has her own room, which I've stayed away from her, and I've had my own room. And you know, we have flights back. I asked her to come with me to Boston, but I don't want her to be there, so. I do want to text the producer as well as Liz, and just so they'll be on the same string.
And then, of course, they got back together again, because at this point, why wouldn't they? As expected, they were dragged back for another show. More fights followed, more breakups, and somehow they still chose to stay together long enough to reach another season of 90 Day Fiancé, where a wedding was once again scheduled like this was all normal behavior. But this time, Liz's eyes finally seemed to be opening. Between viewers, online criticism, and especially her own mom and grandmother stepping in, she was finally pushed to see what everyone else had been seeing for a while. Ed really wasn't the right choice.
I didn't expect 2 for the price of 1, I'm gonna be told.
Well, maybe you should have been a man.
Well, maybe you should have done a better job raising your daughter.
Oh, I did a fantastic job raising my daughter. That's why
you
you're
sure
out.
have.
Get out of our face, Ed. Please let us pass.
That's why you abandoned her.
Get out.
And thankfully, this was finally the end of it, at least for good this time, supposedly. They did appear together one last time on a reunion episode, but this time Liz showed up with her new boyfriend, Jason, just to make sure Ed fully understood the message.
Jason, don't sweep things under the rug. You better deal with the issues, or you'll be sitting here just like I am.
We've had arguments, like I just said. It's not a big deal. We approach them. We're not immature. We're both a grown adult.
At this point, Ed was still clearly desperate to hold on to whatever was left of his 90-day fame. But by now, his reputation was completely in the gutter. Between petitions, public backlash, and years of chaotic relationships, the only attention he was really getting was from people watching him fall apart in real time. And unfortunately for him, that's exactly what kept him relevant. He even tried to take things a step further by announcing an engagement to a fan. Yes, a fan. He showed up with a makeshift paperclip ring that didn't even look remotely official and made a public announcement about it. The problem was, the woman herself didn't even really seem to take it seriously. She barely knew him and quickly made it clear that she was not engaged to Big Ed, despite whatever he had decided was happening in his head. And it didn't stop there. After the announcement, it became even clearer what was going on. This wasn't some genuine romantic moment, it was essentially a pitch. Ed himself framed it in a way that made it obvious this wasn't about love at all, but about staying connected to the 90-Day franchise, staying relevant, and at the end of the day, chasing money and clout. So by this point, the pattern wasn't just noticeable anymore, it was the entire story. Every relationship, every appearance, every comeback attempt just led back to the same place. A man still chasing attention, still trying to stay on screen, and still somehow convinced that this time would be different. But if there's one thing this entire timeline made clear, it's that it never really was. Currently, Ed is just irrelevant, trying desperately to stay in the limelight, but the audience for his BS is just not there anymore. A woman on national television told millions of viewers that she had urinated on her husband.
He has told people that I smell and I peed on him.
Okay, this person here, she has some stuff that I don't like. I complained about.
You know what? I don't even want to know.
And that's not nearly the most twisted thing that happened in this couple's history of many, many years. It all started back in 2016 on the Season 1 tell-all of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, a high-drama, multi-part reunion special where the season's cast members meet to discuss their relationships. Safe to say the producers want them to have conflicts, confront each other, and answer burning questions from host Sean Robinson. The couple in question, Mohammed and Danielle, shortly became the news headlines for a variety of reasons, among which the most obvious one is their age gap of 15 years. Danielle Mullins is an American citizen born in 1973 in Sandusky, Ohio, and attended New London High School and graduated with the class of 1992. Her soon-to-be husband, yes, you heard that right, Mohammed Jabari, was born just 4 years before Danielle graduated. At 24, Mohammed, who is from Tunisia, approached and started having an online relationship with Danielle in 2013. At that point in time, Danielle was 40, divorced, and a mother of 4 children. 15 years of age gap is no joke, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, as Mohammed within 4 months and came to America after just 7 months of chatting with Danielle in the hopes of marrying her.
Finally. Stop crying, stop crying.
No, I was so worried.
Danielle is visibly in love with Mohammed. While Mohammed does not seem to reciprocate her level of expression, Danielle immediately clings to him like a koala on a tree, and soon after breaks down out of her emotional weight. His confessional, recorded immediately after, described his physical assessment of her using the word acceptable. Danielle is acceptable for me. Counterintuitively, during their initial time together, Mohammed kept insisting that Danielle get married as soon as possible so they could start being intimate.
On the couch.
Because he's a Muslim, Muhammad decided that we're not having sex or being intimate till we're married.
Many people argue that Mohammed was using his religion as an excuse to not be romantic with Danielle, as he can be seen kissing her and bypassing his religious rules. Giving the benefit of the doubt, viewers and the couple both were looking forward to how their love story unfolded. However, worldly affairs are based on practical tenets like finances, and Danielle, having all 4 of her kids living with her, was financially insufficient to meet the federal poverty guideline threshold required for K-1 visa sponsorship. Thankfully for her, her father co-signed the sponsorship affidavit to meet the financial requirement. But as fate would have it, the couple's troubles were just beginning to unfold as Danielle lost her, and Mohammed took it very badly.
You did something wrong?
No, I didn't do nothing wrong.
So how they fired someone did nothing wrong?
They feel that I'm not good enough at the job.
But you wasn't serious about jobs. That's why you lost it.
I can find another one.
I don't believe that. What we gonna do? You are the only one responsible about the money till I get a job. We lost everything. We start from the beginning. We forget all about the problems and we start from the beginning.
Mohammed was solely dependent on Danielle for his survival while he sat at home and searched for work. Things became increasingly challenging because Danielle lied to Mohammed about having enough to support them, and Mohammed was increasingly getting double-minded and saying things like, "I didn't expect that life would be like this here." Doubt flooded his mind, and he started contemplating whether he even wanted to get married to Danielle. So much so that he visited the visa consultant on the very day he was to get married.
Now, sometimes it could be a few months or 8 months, 10 months, a year. It just depends.
But I don't know why it takes so long time.
There's a lot of fraud, and the immigration folks are concerned about that. Okay?
Okay. It wasn't a good news. I'm between 2 terrible choices. There is something telling me you have to get married as soon as possible, and other things telling me no, don't get married now. So I feel like I'm lost. I don't know what I do.
Not to forget, courtesy of the K-1 visa, Mohammed flew to the United States on October 2014 to begin the 90-day window in which they were required to marry. And even though Mohammed knew he was not ready, or more like not sure if he wanted to get married to Danielle, he still went ahead with the ceremony and became the groom that very same day before the time ran out. However, During their wedding, something very controversial happened, which sparks an online debate about whether Muhammad was using his religion to escape some more formalities.
You may kiss your bride. I'm not allowed to kiss in this time, in my religion, in this month.
At the wedding reception, Muhammad announced to the guests that he would not be kissing Danielle at the ceremony because they were in the month of Ramadan, during which physical public affection is prohibited under his religious practice. The bride and groom settled for 2 cheek kisses instead. Later, Muhammad's emotional state became clearly visible to everyone. Instead of expressing happiness or relief, his facial expression and tone in the confessional were noted by the fan base immediately upon airing as indicating by a man who did not want to be in the marriage.
Because of the finances and other people getting involved, but having Muhammad here is what got me through the last 90 days.
Things became even more tumultuous after their marriage. A dissatisfying relationship on top of a financial crunch brings the worst out of everyone. Less than 2 weeks into their marriage, their electricity got cut off, and in the anxious mindset that Muhammad was in, he seriously started reconsidering his life decisions and left the house without telling where he was going or for how long.
He leaves me. He's leaving 3 girls that love and care about him. That's a whole family he's affecting. I want him here. I need him here. He makes me a better person.
Leaving Danielle heartbroken and in sheer chronic anxiety, Muhammad nonchalantly comes back 5 days later. What's hurtful to hear is that he thinks this behavior is normal, or at least acts that way. And just like that, Muhammad randomly enters the house and doubles down on his unjustified stubbornness, which only makes his case worse.
I'm not responsible of what others thinking of me. I can leave, I can come back, I can do whatever. I'm free. I do whatever I want, I go wherever I want, and I'm not forced to explain why.
No one was expecting their marriage to go very far from this point on. However, surprisingly, in the next season of the show, the couple was still together after a whole year, and Muhammad actually stepped up to get a job. However, opportunities in Ohio were limited, and in search of higher-paying jobs, Muhammad started visiting other states very frequently, and that's when multiple women online alleged that Muhammad had slept with them, and one even went as far as to say that she was pregnant because of him.
People were making different comments that he's only here for the green card, and if this is true, then he needs to be deported back and stuff like that. A little part of me is believing.
Danielle confronted him about the rumors, but he kind of gaslighted her and deflected the question, telling her to just trust him regardless of all the evidence she had been seeing. Not only does he manipulate her, but he also dismisses her overthinking without giving any adequate reassurance.
Now I feel like I'm paying for something I never did. If you don't trust me, there is no reason to be together and married. I am here for you, but I am not here for the green card. And you know very well, I'm ready to leave anytime.
I know.
Anytime. If my marriage doesn't work out, I will get my divorce and I will go back to my country. It's easy.
Muhammad has brought up divorce, and it's usually when we're fighting.
At this point, both of them are well aware of the fact that their relationship is suffering, and yet they don't do anything about it. Time passes and Muhammad gets his hands on his temporary green card. Meanwhile, he also talks to one of his friends about his true thoughts on the marriage.
Daniel is not the right person for me at all. We are completely different. The way that she's treating me, it's like not a husband. She's treating me more like a son. She was mean to me a lot. She was disrespectful for me a lot. I tried so many times with her, and she said, okay, she's gonna try to make things better, but she never did.
This is where Muhammad became very vocal about what he actually feels about Danielle, and indirectly admits on camera that he's not physically attracted to her.
Like my partner in my life. I didn't have like a girlfriend before or like been with someone before, so it was my first experience. And I was thinking maybe the way the person is looking like is not very important as much as how is the person from inside, how that person is gonna treat you. But attraction, like physical attraction, it matters a lot.
This explains a lot about why Muhammad was unable to be intimate with Danielle for the longest time, and things go from bad to worse when he practically announces that he's going to break up one way or another.
I'm not gonna spend my life by myself just because I had the bad experience with someone. The way I was thinking about it, I thought if my marriage doesn't work out, I will get my divorce and I will go back to my country. But I do like America because I got used to the culture, so I hope I can stay in this country.
So is there ever a situation that would lead you back to Danielle?
Shortly after, Muhammad does something that flips the perception of fans on him completely. He makes a profile on the same dating app that he used to find Danielle while being lawfully married to her. As expected, it shatters Danielle's heart. But luckily, she had her teenage daughter around who played the role of a therapist and opened her eyes to the big, ugly realization that Muhammad may have actually been using her for his green card.
I'm faced with a very hard decision. If he's not coming back, I need to either file an annulment or a divorce and try to get him out of this country. It hurts. But then I have to face reality that he wasn't here for the right reasons.
While Danielle was suffering through the heavy emotions and yet another heartbreak, Muhammad actually became very close friends with another woman he found online and made up his mind to start his new life without having to compromise on looks.
So what's up? Yeah. I met Louisa online. She was very supportive, and she's always like making me feel good about stuff and give me advice. I'm getting really tired of this place. I'm not used. Yeah, because I'm not used to be in small towns. Now I'm trying to fix my life, and I am planning to move to Miami with Louisa.
Muhammad moves to Miami with Louisa, and on camera, he's not yet admitted to his intentions towards Louisa, but it's pretty obvious that whatever he was lacking in his relationship with Danielle is going to be fulfilled if he gets together with Louisa.
I do think that Louisa physically is attractive. She's a beautiful American girl, she's blonde, she's tall and everything. It's weird, you know, I have things going on inside here. I have to be careful about what I say.
Muhammad and Louisa move in together as friends, sharing one room with only one bed. According to reports, one of them was supposed to sleep on the floor, but no one knows what goes on when the camera stops rolling. And if that was not enough, Muhammad has a slip of the tongue and accidentally calls his friendship with Louisa a relationship.
I just think through his situation, and I've supported him and been there every step of the way. I think that just built that connection.
We are really having a good relationship, good friendship.
Friend zone. Muhammad is different in a good way, and I think there's a lot we have in common. And we're definitely gonna help each other out. You know, I do have friends in Miami, so they can help him with jobs and stuff like that.
Let's actually go to the water. Right now, I want to be with someone. I want to have company. Yeah.
Be okay. Be okay.
Seeing all that Muhammad has been up to, Danielle was not going to sit quietly and accept the monumental humiliation she's internalized because her current husband has been living together with another woman who seemingly is better than her as per online reviews, while totally neglecting her own needs and her family's stability.
Wow. I'm here in Sandusky trying to find my husband, and he's off in Miami on a boat with another woman, partying it up. Muhammad always claimed he was just friends with Louisa, but I believe that there's something more going on with them.
I think that looks like a couple. I don't think that looks like friends.
So Danielle, with some support from her friends, musters up the courage to file for an annulment. For those who don't know, annulment is a legal or religious decree that declares a marriage or civil partnership null and void, treating it as if it never legally existed. Unlike divorce, which ends a valid marriage, annulment applies to marriages that were invalid from the beginning, void, or can be voided due to specific severe grounds.
Muhammad's a parasite sucking everything from America. So I'm heading to the courthouse to file for annulment.
While the legal process takes its time, Muhammad is looking for jobs so that he can afford his expenses in Miami. Meanwhile, Danielle pulls an Uno reverse and starts hanging out with a new friend she made, whom she believes is really good for her.
So there's this guy. His name's Gabriel.
Do you have a picture of Gabe I can see? He's nice looking. How old is he?
35. Gabe and I have hung out a few times. I feel a little guilty because I'm still married, but we're just friends.
While Danielle is getting entangled with Gabriel, Muhammad and Louisa are facing some compatibility issues, which were a long time coming since Muhammad jumped into his relationship as a rebound without ever knowing Louisa as a person.
Don't feel like doing this if you're gonna have an attitude.
I don't have any attitude.
Yeah, you're acting the way you're acting. You're acting very boring. You act like we're some married couple or something. Who cares? Get over it.
The way she talks to me, that's not the respect that I'm looking for.
Amid the chaos, Louisa tells Muhammad she's going to leave for the West Coast, which means she's not going to fulfill the promise she made of helping Muhammad financially. And at this point, Muhammad has no real friends or family in Miami, and it's going to be really difficult considering how much he hates being alone without someone's company. However, that was just the start of his troubles as he came to know about the annulment that Danielle filed.
Danielle filed for an annulment because she thinks that if she gets the annulment, I'm gonna be like deported because I need the divorce to stay in the States.
I knew the moment that I filed the annulment and he found out about it that he'd want to talk because he wants to be in this country.
Just as Danielle predicted, Muhammad calls her and talks about talking things out in order to end them on a relatively nicer note, which will be better for everyone. Danielle is initially skeptical, but later agrees, and a few days later, Muhammad comes to Ohio and meets Danielle face to face. And as expected, the interaction is anything but normal.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
After the initial awkwardness, Danielle confronts him on his unannounced exit, to which Muhammad had a cold reply ready in his arsenal. Muhammad discloses on national television that he can't live with Danielle's unbearable antics on every minor inconvenience.
Okay.
You got up to go to work, packed your stuff. Adios. You just walked out the door.
Ask yourself why. Why did I leave that way? How did you act? Danielle don't get why I left Ohio because she is used to have a miserable life. For her, that's normal. I cannot have that kind of life with Danielle. No, I cannot.
According to Muhammad, Danielle would sit in front of the door and refuse to move, causing him to lose his mind, especially when this started happening multiple times a week. However, things became heated when Danielle brought up Louisa, and as always, Muhammad was trying to shove it off by saying she's just a friend, but Danielle is in no mood to buy his lies.
You're the one that brought the drama.
How?
Posting pictures with Louisa?
Louisa, she was my friend. She was trying to help me. So what's wrong with that?
No. That looks more than like friendship.
Okay,
That's
wait.
more than friendship there.
You need to wait. No,
No,
wait.
that's more than friendship.
Danielle is very aware of the fact that Muhammad and Louisa have slept together, and Louisa also gave a really detailed description of how wild Muhammad was in bed, and he was not interested in foreplay or pleasure at all. At this point, fans' suspicion was further confirmed, as they now believed that Muhammad was indeed using his religion all along because fornication and extramarital affairs are also prohibited. As the confrontation progressed, both of them became argumentative, and the topic of divorce came up once again.
Muhammad.
You applied for me to get the K1 visa means you own me.
I brought you here. I trusted you. I don't
did you do
have
that?
to do that just because I'm obligated to. I do that because I love and care about you.
You made me give up to everything and come here to be with you. The only way to move on is to get a divorce.
Things quickly escalated, and Danielle stormed out of the cafe and was in no mood to talk to him. However, knowing Danielle, she gave in and decided to be courteous towards Muhammad so that he would not get deported. They both go to the court and redact the annulment, after which things seem to have cooled off and moved towards closure.
So tomorrow I'm leaving,
Yeah.
and I'm just here to say bye. Yeah, so thank you for going with me to the court and pulling the annulment. And I never tried to do anything bad to you, like in purpose, but even I did something and I didn't mean it, I'm sorry for that. I'm so sorry.
They both hugged and decided to go their separate ways, even though it was clear that Danielle still had unrequited feelings for Mohammed. Shortly after, Danielle decides that she's going to find out where Mohammed lives. And luckily for her, due to her shared bank account, she can see his location and packs up her bags to go see him.
I decided that I'm going to Miami to find out what is going on. Because he's my husband.
If you think Danielle has the right to go see Mohammed, maybe the next snippet will help you reconsider your stance.
I'm going to call Mohammed to set up a time to meet. If he don't answer, I'm just going to show up at his apartment. This could be a romantic vacation if everything goes right.
Overlooking the fact that it can be deemed as harassment, Danielle takes the risk, and it does not end well, as Mohammed wants to protect himself and his new female friend from Danielle's troublesome energy.
She's coming from Ohio to Miami just to find me. That's crazy. I'm going to the police station to file for a police report because Danielle is coming and I have to protect myself.
Complaint for harassment is not the first police report Mohammed filed on Danielle. He's called her out for defamation, as Danielle allegedly used his social media account to upload weird pictures of him for bad publicity, stole his money and refused to give it back, and vandalized his belongings. However, harassment is much more serious and may give Danielle a legal notice to stay away from Mohammed.
Anything to do with you, I'm tired of it.
Mohammed.
I understand you don't get it.
Mohammed.
What?
I gave you the opportunity in Ohio to talk, so you can return the favor and talk to me. Mohammed. Mohammed, what was the promise that you made in Ohio before you left Ohio?
Mohammed has made his stance very clear, and now it's all about whether Danielle respects his boundary or not. Mohammed has the legal right to defend his peace of mind against any distress, and Danielle's affection in this case can be deemed a breach of the law and order.
I'm warning you.
Mohammed, don't warn in me and don't threaten me.
We'll talk about it if you come tonight.
Realistically, there's nothing wrong with Mohammed's approach. However, when reason and emotions clash, the person on the emotional end of the spectrum suffers the most, who in this case is Danielle.
Oh, he can sit there and threaten me. To call the police or get a restraining order and telling me this is the last time he'll talk to me.
She is obviously hurt, but she also needs to understand that Mohammed is no longer the young man who claimed to be deeply in love with her. Luckily for her, this acts as the last nail in the coffin to their love story. And even logically speaking, there's no point in staying married like this. So one can understand Danielle's point of view too, and she makes sure to make their confrontation as dramatic as possible.
Listen, I don't want to see you here anymore, okay? You are not welcome here. You understand that? I have things to do. Okay?
Mohammed,
don't lose my time.
Listen to me.
I don't want to listen to you.
I was respectful and listened to you in Ohio. You can listen to me now.
Take your stuff and leave. You are not welcome here.
Danielle came with a list of grievances, a binder containing evidence of conversations Mohammed has had with women, photos he's had with women, and various bank receipts. Despite the fact that Mohammed clearly told her that he's not entertaining any constructive or even destructive conversation, Danielle could not care less and began her emotional monologue. However, yet again, the outing does not go quite as Danielle expected it.
You have not been an active partner, spouse to me since we got married. I am a family-oriented person. I believe in marriage and take my vows serious.
I don't want to hear
I
about
married
this.
you
This is too
because
much
I
for me.
loved you. And because here, you can take this too so you know how serious this is.
That was nice of you. That shows how really you are.
You're a user, Mohammed. You used me. You told me what I wanted to hear to get me to pull that annulment.
Nice, nice.
I am going to guarantee I will get your ass deported because you're a user.
The feeling of being neglected can bring the worst out of any one of us, and Danielle's no different. In a fit of impulsivity, she completely loses her calm and throws the binder at him, which, you guessed right, counts as an act of assault. As a result, Mohammed calls the police on her.
I have brought him to America, and now he's called the American police on me. That's the thanks that I get for bringing him to America. Big slap in the face. Hello? I've been set up. I have no idea why he called you.
Muhammad went back inside the building. Danielle flew back to Ohio. No legal outcome resulted from the trip. The annulment proceedings continued. But before annulment, it's time for the season finale, where Muhammad and Danielle sit across from each other for tell-all questions. And it's perhaps the most embarrassing episode on the show. For starters, it was revealed that Danielle had a lot of criminal history.
Yeah, because it keeps being brought up in social media. There was a credit card that came to the house that we lived in, and I used that credit card to buy like groceries and stuff like that because.
And how old are you by that time?
We were in a bad situation.
How old are you by that time?
And
are you old enough to know that you cannot use something that doesn't belong to you?
Will you stop?
As a result, Danielle was charged with felony fraud and felony theft because of it. Moreover, Muhammad publicly stated that Danielle had not disclosed to him before his arrival the debts, the evictions, the credit card fraud, and the jail time. He stated that none of this had been revealed to him during their online communication or before his arrival in the United States. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, as Muhammad was later asked about bedroom problems, and he did not hold back.
Was there any intimacy after the wedding at all?
After the wedding?
Yes.
There was, but we started facing a problem. I don't want to say, like, this is very private. Instead of taking care of that problem, she was, like, fighting with me over it. This is something that no man in the world can accept that. And then she was, like, sitting on the floor, crying, screaming in front of her teenagers, I want my sex tonight. If you don't give me my sex tonight, I will call the immigration. I will get you deported.
If you think that is unbearable behavior, you are not ready for what's coming next, because this is where we get a sneak peek into Danielle's true stunts behind closed doors.
He has told people that I smell and I peed on him.
She has some stuff that I don't like. I complained about.
You know what? I don't even want to know.
The conversation then shifted to the physical state of their marriage. Cast members and the host pressed both of them on why they had only consummated the marriage once. The host cuts off the conversation as no one wanted to hear these disgusting details about their bedroom, but the secrets were just starting to come out.
We didn't have sex until September.
Oh,
and you got married when?
July.
July? Get out of here.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, there's some red flags.
I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't wait that
I'm
long.
not going to have sex with someone like
It's your wife.
Daniel. My
Muhammad,
wife.
we had sex before we got married and when I seen you in Doha. So what's the difference?
For the record, Muhammad mentioned that he was refusing to be intimate before marriage solely because of his religion, but now we know that he has flexible boundaries. And then the most shocking part is that Danielle was stripped of her right to intimacy for months, which just goes on to show how uninterested Muhammad was with her to begin with.
Because you do not know that nobody will have sex with someone like you.
This is so
she has a
sad.
problem that she needs to see a doctor before she has sex with someone.
Right, but you knew that.
I know, and
when you got married.
I was working with her on that. I asked her to go and see a doctor.
Muhammad.
That was so mean.
However, the horrible confrontation did not stop there, as Danielle hysterically walked out of the interview when she realized that Muhammad was not going to take his foot off the gas anytime soon.
She's a promotional Hooters waitress. The entire time we've been married, he's gone from woman to woman to woman. He's letting his talk more than that.
Danielle's original legal filing was for an annulment on grounds of fraud, the argument being that Muhammad had entered the marriage solely to obtain immigration status and had deceived her about his intentions. Her attorney advised her that the fraud standard at trial was high and that she was unlikely to meet the evidentiary threshold. On the attorney's recommendation, the annulment was converted to a standard divorce filing. However, unlike Danielle, Muhammad does not go for a lawyer, despite several suggestions from his well-wishers.
I'm going to advise you that you really need a lawyer for this.
I don't have any lawyer, but I know what I'm doing, okay? And I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about myself, so I will be good.
Muhammad is clearly taking a really big gamble, because winning a court case is less about emotional rhetoric and more about a skilled professional who knows the ins and outs of the judiciary system. Muhammad's supposed attorney warns him of this approach, but he's not willing to listen.
A larger issue is I did not realize how angry he was. And if that's the level of anger he's taking into this, I see him bound for Tunisia, going home.
Donald is right. Muhammad is going to have a really difficult time dealing with the case alone. However, luckily for him, he's at least made one good friend who is genuinely looking out for him.
Danielle is a very manipulative person, and she likes things to be her way. So I just want to make sure Muhammad's prepared with as much ammunition as he can have going in.
Tom invites Muhammad to his house for a heart-to-heart conversation. This is where Tom tells him that Danielle approached Tom to turn him against Muhammad with various screenshots and persuasive techniques. But none of that was able to change Tom's loyalty towards Muhammad.
No matter what happens with the situation, whether you stay in the States or you go back to your country, I don't think that's going to impact our friendship.
Just like how Muhammad has Tom, Danielle has Beth, who gives her one last pep talk before their court hearing. With Beth's support, Danielle is totally committed to getting Muhammad deported on the charges of marriage fraud.
All right, go get him, Danielle. Do not let him get away with this.
I really hope that the judge sees the things like I do. I am ready to do whatever possible to get him deported.
And after 2 exasperating years of living together as a married couple and a whole year of Danielle harassing Muhammad, threatening him with deportation, filing for annulment, emotionally blackmailing him into coming back into her life, withdrawing the annulment and then refiling, the troubled couple officially meets its end. They're no longer married now, just what both of them wanted. However, contrary to Danielle's wishes, the court recognized Muhammad as an official American citizen, and that did not sit right with Danielle.
It does hurt that I couldn't prove fraud, because I feel like no one's ever going to believe me.
Unlike her, Muhammad made his relief very vocal on camera.
Danielle was asking me to pay for her lawyer's fees, which is $500. That's not a big deal for me. I will pay it for her. I do feel justice is done today. To be divorced, it feels like I'm free.
However, as fate would have it, his salvation was met with another blow as Danielle, unable to deal with her volatile emotions, approached him once again, pushing Muhammad to the absolute limits of sanity.
What?
I think we need to meet and talk later.
Enough, okay?
The frustration is very visible between them, and it's still not clear what Danielle wants to get out of this conversation.
You have my number, you can text me.
When are you supposed to go back?
I'm gonna stay until this evening, okay?
Right.
That awkward interaction leaves Muhammad in mental distress, and whenever a person is subjected to so much dread, the first thing they do is get as far away from the source of negativity as possible. And that's exactly what Muhammad does by updating his social media status and announcing to the world that he is no longer tied to Danielle.
He couldn't even give me a day just to process it. I haven't even talked to my kids, so they're gonna find out from social media what has happened.
In a state of confusion, Danielle consults her kids, who tell her to cut all contact with Muhammad. But ignoring their mature advice, Danielle decides to go over to Muhammad just to tell him that she's completely over him and does not want to see him.
I want him to hear what I think. I want him to know that I'm over him. I'm done with him.
Violating all social norms and ethical considerations, Danielle knocks on his door. At this point, she's just making up excuses to correspond with her ex, who has built quite a lot of resentment already. However, Muhammad displays immense patience and decides to just get it over with.
What?
Can I come in and talk to you?
I told you I don't want to meet you. Danielle started messaging me that she wants to talk. She showed up in my door, knocking. I have to talk to her now.
As soon as Muhammad lets her in, he immediately starts regretting his decision.
You should have the respect enough to let me tell my family, because they were expecting an annulment.
So you're telling me that I'm not allowed to use my social media because your family is going to find out?
The conversation only becomes more heated from that point on, with Danielle being just on the verge of a meltdown. At this point, Muhammad felt the need to shut it down before things escalated further and asked her to leave.
You know that is freaking.
Okay, here we're done. Please leave. Don't curse at me. Please leave.
No, I'm tired of you making this about you today.
Please leave.
Danielle kept budging him, but he maintained his cool and told her to leave without engaging in any more heated debate with her. Following the divorce, Muhammad relocated and began working as a long-haul truck driver. He appeared on 90 Day Fiancé, Pillow Talk as a commentator on other couples' relationships, which gave the fan base a window into his life post-Danielle. And in no time, Danielle brought up her resentment over the fact that Muhammad is seeing other people, which he's legally allowed to do, by the way.
It's all a matter of respect.
So
you should respect me and not be posting pictures with other women.
So if I did it without posting picture, will you be okay with that?
Yes.
See, so the problem is not what I did, is what people think.
It's always been the people's perception of their relationship that has troubled Danielle the most. And it's pretty evident that she's not over Muhammad in the slightest by how eagerly invested she is in his life, going as far as to call his girlfriend and practically harassing her.
She said that you had been calling her and harassing her.
I was trying to warn her about Muhammad, that as soon as he gets what he wants out of her, he's going to dump her like he's dumped everyone else.
If that was not diabolical enough, Danielle also pulls out the receipts of all screenshots she had in her binder full of evidence. Without a shred of concern for the fact that she's live on television, Danielle reopens old files and stubbornly calls for Muhammad's deportation yet again.
What are you going to do with this information?
This is going to immigration.
And what do you think immigration is going to do with that?
I'm hoping that they'll look at it and deport him.
It's fine. Good luck.
Muhammad does not give a reaction to her stunts. And right when the viewers start respecting him, he goes on to be emotionally hostile towards Danielle yet again.
Can you see that Danielle really loved you and was really hurt by what has happened?
No, that's a fake love because I know her personality and the way she thinks.
Muhammad knows exactly what will trigger Danielle, and just as expected, she does not take the blow well and storms out of the interview yet again. Only this time, Danielle dries her tears and comes back on set. And as soon as she comes back, she conveys her demand for an apology.
An apology, one that's heartfelt, and we wouldn't have to end on such bad terms.
On the other hand, when the interviewer asked Muhammad about his plans moving forward, he gave a pretty sensible response.
Well, I'm going to disappear. I'm just going to do whatever I think is best for my life and my future. Try to fix the mess that happened in the last 3 years.
I'm responsible for him for 10 years as long as he's here.
All I want is to finish whatever we're doing right now and let's stop talking. And I wish you all the good things in your life.
The other couples take a dig at Muhammad, arguing and fighting unnecessarily, and telling them both to cut the drama and stop embarrassing themselves in front of the camera. Muhammad responds pragmatically, and soon the host concludes the show.
All right, everybody, you are all good to go. It's a wrap.
So I'm ready for you? Yes. I don't want to see it in you. We need to get this done really quick. Yes, sir.
The show ended, but the chaos between Muhammad and Danielle did not, as she was standing outside of the set with pizza in her hand, waiting for Muhammad.
Where's it at?
That's not my problem. That's not my problem.
Muhammad, it's your problem. Reason your order to send it.
Can you stop? Something different.
Danielle's asking him to pay her attorney's fee. Yes, the same fee that was spent on getting Muhammad deported. After the court hearing, Muhammad did agree to pay for her, and it had been months since that incident. Now, not keeping a promise is unethical at most, but Danielle decided to literally sue him for it.
He wants everyone else to take the blame for his actions. So, I've talked to a lawyer and I've decided to sue Muhammad.
Considering the impulsive whim Danielle is usually on, it should not come as a surprise that she actually dialed Muhammad's number and tried contacting him. However, only this time Muhammad had learned his lesson and disconnected his phone. As it turns out, he truly disappeared.
Are you worried that he's left the country at all?
Well,
6 months after the interview, Danielle claimed to have gotten into a long-distance relationship with a man named Nelson, who lives in Maryland, about a 6-hour drive from Ohio, where Danielle lives. One fine morning, Danielle and Nelson decided to meet up in Maryland, but the early signs were not looking good.
I've tried calling him and he's not responding.
Danielle got stood up, and it really triggered the emotional wound that Muhammad left on her.
It's like people don't care that people took time off and drove 6 hours and paid tolls and gas. It feels like it's another repeat of Muhammad. I feel cursed by Muhammad. It all started with him.
After that terrible experience with Nelson, Danielle stayed single for a long time to come. Almost 2 years after her last interview with Muhammad, they randomly started texting again.
We've been chit-chatting here and there. We have forgiven each other. So yeah, we're building a friendship.
While many fans believed they were only going to have online contact, if any, everyone was proven wrong, as 8 months after Danielle confirmed they were back on talking terms, Muhammad sent her a picture of him entering Ohio.
He sent me a picture to show that he's in Ohio.
As expected, they set a date and decided to meet up for an unexpected get-together, contrary to the expectations of everyone who fully expected them to never meet up ever again. And even Muhammad confessed that seeing Danielle after all those years is stressful.
It brings a lot of bad memories and stuff. I hope that she's not gonna start screaming and telling me, why did you do this, why did you do that? Because I'm over that.
Things proceeded with Danielle again asking for an apology. And contrary to the past, Muhammad agrees to apologize.
The way you say I left you in your lowest, I mean, I apologize that you felt like that. I never meant to do anything in purpose to hurt you.
Muhammad makes sure to keep his words empathetic, but still emotionally distant. And Danielle catches him out for that. And Danielle calls him out on that.
The whole situation was super bad. Okay? That's it.
I think that was a half-ass apology. He didn't apologize for what he did.
Danielle is right in her own regard, and Muhammad still believes he did nothing wrong. Keeping all that aside, there's one question on everyone's minds. Why did he want to meet up so suddenly after 3 years? And Muhammad does not give a straightforward answer.
I have nothing to gain from this, just saying hi and bye. Maybe we can be friends. And don't even think in the future that I'm gonna need you for immigration, okay? It's between me and the government, that's it.
So according to Muhammad, meeting in person was like an icebreaker to their new life as friends. He does not add anything substantial to the conversation beyond that point, and Danielle seizes this opportunity to try to get him jealous.
I'm actually going on a trip.
It's a trip?
Yes. A singles trip.
Doesn't sound good.
Muhammad shows disinterest, which some fans think of as jealousy, while others believe he could just not care to get a response. Soon after, when they both realize they have nothing more to add to this awkward interaction, Muhammad suggests they should leave.
Anyways, maybe soon we'll meet again and talk.
Okay.
All right. I'm just gonna leave this here and
Okay.
let's go now.
After coming out, Muhammad talks to the camera, using probably the most pleasant words about Danielle that he's used in more than 4 years.
Especially now, she's not like the same person going after me, trying to force me into a relationship. So I think, yeah, it's okay.
However, unlike Muhammad, Danielle is still not over him and begins mulling over the what-ifs.
I wish that I could have seen that Muhammad when we were together.
After the interaction, they do not meet again in person. Danielle still boards her singles trip, which she mentions, and months later gets on her first proper date. Both of them approach different people and stayed out of each other's lives for the most part. 3 years after their divorce, Muhammad and Danielle get on a video call for their official closure, once and for all, only because Danielle could not move on without a heartfelt apology.
Of course I regret saying those things, because when someone gets mad, you just say anything to make the other person feel hurt, and I regret it. Sorry for saying that. She's the only person that she did a lot of good stuff to me. Even with all the fights, all the nasty stuff, she did a lot of good stuff to me, okay? And she's a good person. This is the truth. She's a hustler. She's been by herself, raising 4 kids, and if we put all the drama stuff aside, I respect her as a person.
Putting it all to bed, both of them moved on with life. Muhammad later married a woman named Jillian. In late 2023, they had their first child together. Muhammad made the announcement publicly in February 2025 via Instagram. Jillian posted on her Instagram account announcing a second pregnancy shortly after. The post was later made private for unspecified reasons. As for Danielle, in December 2024, she completed her nursing program and graduated as a registered nurse. She posted the graduation on her Instagram account. The fanbase response was widespread and positive, and as of early 2025, she's working as a registered nurse in Ohio. Danielle Mullins and Mohammed Jabali, two people who were anything but good for each other, happened to be on television together for parts of 4 separate TLC productions: 90 Day Fiancé Season 2, Happily Ever After Seasons 1 and 2, and The Single Life. Their relationship produced over 9 police reports, a failed annulment, a divorce, and one of the most replayed tell-all segments in the show's history. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you're looking for more stories like this, click on the top right corner of your screen now.